What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to LamboView. One of the most common questions people ask when they see a Lamborghini is, did I finance it or did I lease it? And more importantly, what actually is the smarter financial decision? Should you finance it or should you lease it? Obviously, you could also pay it off in cash, but that's going to be for a different video. But in today's video, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of leasing versus financing a Lamborghini, because the answer is actually a lot more strategic than people think. So both sides have their pros and cons, but I am leaning towards one side. For the people who watch this channel, you probably already know which side I'm going to say. But let's just go ahead and go straight down the points. Why most people think leasing is a better option. So some perks you get, or you think you get, is going to be lower monthly payments. You get to drive a new car every few years. You get to pay less upfront cash. Warranty usually covers most of the issues as well. So leasing is attractive because it gives people access to a car they otherwise couldn't afford to buy outright. Now let's go over the downsides of leasing. So the downsides of leasing, you do get mileage limits. I believe for a lot of Lamborghinis, the mileage limit that you do get is about 5,000 miles a year, which if you have two cars, that's actually completely fine. I have been just averagely driving around my car. It's been about 8 months, and I was only able to put on about 2,000 miles or so. And that's my vehicle as a weekend car and me mainly driving on the highways. So 5,000 miles doesn't seem like a lot, but again, if you treat this car as your weekend car, it's actually going to be more than enough to have a mileage limit of 5,000 miles. Another cool benefit you get is a lot of times you can customize it the way you like it. It can get expensive over time, and exotic lease payments are still higher than a lot of people think. But with supercars especially, lease payments can still be extremely high, and at the end of the lease, you walk away with absolutely nothing, which kind of sucks. So I would say a good majority of Lamborghini owners, they actually finance instead, because you get perks such as you get to own the asset, you have no mileage limits, which is huge. You don't have that mileage limiter going off in your head, so you get more freedom to just drive the car without thinking twice. You can keep the car long term, and it's easier to sell whenever you want to. A lot of Lamborghini owners actually prefer financing because it gives them flexibility. So as an example, let's just say Huracán, the one that I got was around $280,000. I probably, for my vehicle, I put down about $140,000. So that means the loan was around $120,000. I probably did that math wrong, but you get the point, which basically means that my monthly payment is around $2,000 to $3,000. So that monthly payment would be quite relatable to the actual lease payment, but granted, I did put down a ton of money, almost 50% of the entire vehicle, in order to get that payment to be really low. So let's go over which option is actually smarter. Leasing is better for constantly upgrading cars, short-term ownership, and predictable payments. But if you are somebody who likes to finance, some perks you get with that is going to be long-term ownership, avoiding mileage limits, and building equity. The building equity part, I think, is going to be the biggest thing. So when I bought my car is a 2020, it's 2026 at the making of this video. When I bought my car, I knew it was going to be discontinued, and a lot of people were going to miss it. They're going to miss the V10. The replacement car is a V8 hybrid. It drives phenomenal. The performance is a whole lot better. But there are going to be a big amount of enthusiasts, a big crowd of them who prefer the V10 sound or the V10 experience. The experience part, in my personal opinion, I absolutely love the experience part of owning a Lamborghini. Especially if you have a Spyder where the top can go down. You feel like you're in a whole nother world. But I knew that that vehicle was going to be discontinued, and I knew that whatever money that I would have in it, the money would either hold with the value of the vehicle, and my gut feeling on that was absolutely correct. Not only that, I think the value of my vehicle is also up by a good 8 to 10 grand or so at the making of this video, just because the demand for that V10 is going to remain high, and it's only going to go up because obviously they stopped making them. And there still is a huge difference between the Huracán and the Ferrari. Both are supposed to be the same vehicles, the replacement, but they do feel like completely different Lamborghinis. But yes, from what I've seen, the value of my Lamborghini is going up, and that's a huge thing, because what's actually happening in the background is that my $2,500 that I'm putting into the car is just going directly into the car. Granted, I did finance the car, so I am paying a small chunk in interest, but as the years kind of go on, the value of the car is going to keep going up. I'm still paying interest, but I do get to write that off because my Lamborghini is a fully used business vehicle, and so that money that's going into it is going into a asset that's going to hold that money. Leasing, yeah, leasing is great if you are somebody who has the money to blow. Do I think it's the better financial decision? I don't think so. The best financial move to make whenever you're buying a Lamborghini, in my opinion, is to buy one that's about 3 to 4 years old, and then so by doing that you avoid the huge depreciation hit. But I would say that you also want to buy a Lamborghini that is a really amazing spec, a spec that's not going to be around, one that you don't see at Lamborghini Huracans such as the Evo Spyder hold their value well. You also have other trims such as the STO, which is the final iteration of the Huracan. So the value on that one is going to hold at like a high 400. Phenomenal spec, by the way. So any vehicle you buy, I would always buy it used. So any vehicle you buy, just make sure you buy it smart. But yes, leasing, you get a new car every single year, but the downfall of that is that you cannot build equity. So let's just say, for example, with my Huracan, once I pay off the whole entire vehicle, because the value of the car is going to flatline, I'm basically going to have $280,000 in a car. And obviously I'm a car enthusiast, and then once that vehicle is paid off, then I have a choice on what exactly I want to do. I could either sell that car for $280,000 and then put it towards my house, or pay off my house. But obviously what I'm going to do is most likely use that $280,000 as the down payment for the next car, which may be some kind of V12 that I hope to get down the road. And then so that's the game you play. You build equity in a car that's going to hold value, and then you just keep rolling it to the next one that's also going to hold value, and then you keep on building it in that sense. But I will say, again, to repeat myself on it for the third time, buy the right car, buy the exotic car or any car that you know that is going to be in high demand 5 years down the road, where so many people are going to want it, and you can best bet that you'd be making a pretty good financial decision whenever it comes to buying a car. At the end of the day, there isn't one right answer. It really depends on how you plan to own the car. Some people like leasing because they want a new Lamborghini every few years, but others prefer financing so they actually own the car and can keep it for the long term and keep rolling the equity into the next better vehicle. Let me know down below if you had a Lamborghini, or if you plan on getting one, or any other exotic car. Would you lease it or would you finance it?